How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Shuffle Squats channel. Now, Stellar Crown is so close I can almost taste it, and we have a lot of decks to cover here. Now, on the Shuffle Squad, we've really been ramping up for Palkia's return here, with Palkia VSTAR being a good card again with Stellar Crown's release of Terapagos EX. We're going to talk about all the cards that we put into this list. It's really well ironed out, and we're going to talk on how this can affect the meta going forward. You're going to want to see the full list, so stick around for the next part of this video. Before we do get there, please make sure that you're going down in the description of this video and checking out all of our awesome links to our sponsors that help support the Shuffle Squad here. Now, you can save some money with awesome discount codes and also find out where the latest and greatest products are going to be featured. So make sure you're not missing out on any of those great items that help you with your Pokemon TCG career and going down in that description. Let's hop over and talk about this deck list and see what's next for Palkia VSTAR. Alright, so we have Stellar Crown decks on the channel now. We're going to talk about this Palkia VSTAR deck. So we're going to go through the Pokemon line first and show you how that goes. So the first thing that we've got is 4 of the Origin Form Palkia V here, which is really great with Rule the Rain. You get to search for a Stadium card. It does have Hydro Break, but we're probably never using that. We've got a 4 count of those, and then we do have the Origin Form Palkia VSTAR here. So 280 hit point Pokemon evolution. The Subspace Swell is really what sells this card here. We've got 60 damage, plus it does 20 more damage for each one of the bench Pokemon on not only our side, but also our opponent's side here. So we do have the brand new Terapagos EX Unified Beatdown. Now, if you're looking for brand new cards like this, check out our sponsor, Kayfabe Cards. They're going to be over in Baltimore selling some of these new cards for Stellar Crown, and you're definitely going to want to check them out. Huge shout out to them for sure. We do have Unified Beatdown here, which does 30 damage times the number of my bench Pokemon. So your bench Pokemon over here, so 30 damage, but it can't use this attack on the first turn if you're going second. So that's the downside. Now, the Crown Opal attack, we're never going to use that, but you know, a nice basic 230 hit point Pokemon is pretty good here, and it is a Terra Pokemon. So we're going to have to remember that for later on. And let's see here. We do have our 3 Hoothoot 70 hit point Hoothoot, and then what's really good is we have the 3 of the Noctowl here. So 100 hit point Noctowl has got the Jewel Hunt ability when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve your Pokemon during your turn. If you have any Terra Pokemon, again, we've got Terapagos here, you can search your deck for up to 2 trainer cards. So that's anything. That's items, that is supporter cards, that's going to be stadium cards, which are going to be really effective once we see the rest of this list here. I do have the 1/1 Bidoof Bibarel line. We're still going with the bench protection Bidoof with 60 hit points, just because right now I feel like that Regidrago VSTAR is going to go down a little bit. Maybe Dragapult's going to go down, and we should be okay playing the 60. But if things get tricky, we can always switch this to the 70 hit point one that does have the 2 retreat. That's really why we're playing it. And then Bibarel, obviously, to give us a little bit extra draw here for our deck, because we do want to make sure that we're seeing cards as much as humanly possible. I've got the 1 of Fan Rotom here. Fan Call is going to search for 3 colorless Pokemon with 100 hit points or less. As you can see here, everything other than the Terapagos EX does have 100 hit points aside from this Bibarel. So Bibarel is the only thing we can't really find with the Fan Rotom. Everything else we can find with this Fan Rotom. So really, really good here. Really helps pan out the deck, and we'll be able to do that on our first turn and search for those. So we definitely want to have that as soon as humanly possible onto the board so we can use that. Obviously, Assault Landing, the attack on here, if there's no stadiums in play, this attack does nothing. We're probably going to have a stadium in play, so to soften something up with 70 damage isn't the worst attack in the world, so we have that there. Now we do have our Radiant Greninja. We all know what that card does by now, but obviously Moonlit Shuriken is going to be really, really good in a lot of situations just to soften up Pokemon or maybe take some threats off the board. Concealed cards is really what we want to use. We've played Palkia in the past before, and we know that that's really good, getting energy in the discard, and then you can use the Star Portal ability to put 3 water energy back on the board and do some attacking. We do have Manaphy on our side because we don't want to get sniped. A lot of our Pokemon here, as you can see in the lineup, are pretty squishy, so we don't want them to get attacked to go down in the prize race. So we do have the Manaphy. We do have a 1-of Gengar with the Netherworld Gate in here too. So during your turn, if this Pokemon is in your discard pile, you can put it onto your bench. So we can use this as discard fodder, goes back onto the bench, fills up our bench just a little bit more. And then to round out the Pokemon, we do have the Pheasantipity EX. Again, in tandem with Bibarel, fill our hand of 5, draw 3 more cards. Having 8 cards in the hand, really good here. So that's our Pokemon line. We'll move these out of the way. That way we can see what's next in our lineup for this deck. The next thing that we're going to have is our supporter line. So we do have the 3-of Irida in this deck here. So Irida is really great. It gets to search for a water Pokemon and an item card. So great on your first turn if you're going second. Really good to get that going. And then we do have 3 Ionos. Obviously a little bit of disruption. We do have a lot of bigger 2-prize Pokemon. We are going to get those knocked out pretty frequently, especially for our opponent's decks ramping up in damage. So disrupting their hand is really good. And obviously you saw that we have a lot of ways to recover that because we have Bibarel, Pheasantipity, and Noctowl. We do have 2 Boss's Orders. We want to snipe down Pokemon. I really don't think you're going to need too much Gust in this deck, but having the 2 of Boss's Orders is really good. And then we'll round that out with the 1-of Kiernan. Sometimes we can't hit the damage that we want. So not only is this a switching card, but it also allows us to do an extra 30 damage with any of our EX Pokemon. So Terapagos can ramp up that damage the same way that, say, our Palkia VSTAR is going to be doing. So having Terapagos do an extra 30 damage with Unified Beatdown, really good in a lot of situations to hit the numbers that we need. Now for the item cards, we do have the 4-of Nest Ball, and we have the 4-of Ultra Ball, just for consistency here. Newer card for Stellar Crown, we have Glass Trumpet. We do have a lot of colorless Pokemon, especially with Terapagos. So as long as we have a Terra Pokemon in play, we can choose up to 2 of our bench colorless Pokemon and attach an energy to them. So we can find an energy from our discard pile, which we're going to be discarding them a lot. Again, we talked about Ultra Ball, we talked about Radiant Greninja. All these things having some discard fodder. The Glass Trumpets really work well here. So I have our 1-of items. We have our Prime Catcher. We've got our Super Rod. We've got a Night Stretcher. We've got Counter Catcher, Canceling Cologne, an Earthen Vessel, and our Buddy Poffin. Again, we want to get that Fan Rotom out on turn 1. It is a 70 hit point Pokemon, so we want to be able to find that as soon as possible, and then a switch. So we do have a lot of different ways we can switch with Prime Catcher, Kiernan, and a regular switch here. And then this acts as a 3rd Gust card, a 4th Gust card with Counter Catcher, just because we want to knock out those big beefy Pokemon, take 2 prize cards, and keep on trucking. Now to round things out, we do have the 4 Area 0 Underpaths. Now Area 0 is really good here, and this is basically Skyfield in a new wave. If you have a Terra Pokemon, again, we have Terapagos EX. We can get that back with Night Stretcher if it gets knocked out. We can fill our bench up to 8 Pokemon. That means that our Palkia VSTAR is swinging for a lot of damage. That also means our Terapagos EX is swinging for a lot of damage, and we're probably not attacking with that on the first couple of turns. Obviously, we can't do that if we go second on our first turn. So we do need Area 0 to help our Palkia swing for that knockout on turn 2 and just do our things as much as humanly possible, get all of our Pokemon out, and keep going. So to round out the energy, we do have 7 water energy in here. I really feel like 8 might be overkill in Palkia decks, but 7 water energy has felt really good. So let's shuffle this up and see how it plays out.
Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes.
Alright, we're playing some test games here. We're just going to see how it goes. Let's do our first test hand and see if our hand's all clumped up. Got 7 cards here. No basic Pokemon. We're going to shuffle again. Lots of basic Pokemon in this deck, so it could just be, you know, after sorting out the deck and randomly shuffling it, deck's not doing its thing here. So let's try one more time. All right, perfect. We do have a basic Pokemon. All right, this is a good hand. So let's put our prize cards out. See what we got on the prize cards. We're gonna go in. We'll pretend that we're going first. We got Fez. First thing I'm gonna do is just search our deck. Let's go Buddy Buddy Poffin. See what's in the deck here. We can get a couple of Hoothoot on the bench. I think that's really good. It looks like our Fan Rotom is good. So I think let's swap this out. Let's go with Fan Rotom. We were able to get that out. First thing I want to do is conceal cards. Draw 2 more cards. Now we got our Terapagos. I'm going to go ahead and use Fan Call. So use our Fan Call here. And just go Noctowl, Noctowl, Hoothoot. We're going to bench another Hoothoot here. And we don't need Area 0 yet. We don't want to give that advantage to our opponent. So I think what we could do is we could just go and use Glass Trumpet. And we're going to put this right on our Terapagos EX. Because we do have a Terra in play. And we'll pass the turn to our opponent, assuming that they're not taking a knockout. We're just going to go right here, and I will go for an Irida. Irida is going to allow us to get Palkia on the board. And then let's get an item card here. I think Earthen Vessel probably is the best way to go. We're just going to try to get energy into play. And I can even use something like evolving into the Noctowl. We have a Terra Pokemon in play, so now we can search for 2 trainer cards. I think that Nest Ball is probably 1. And then we can also get, you know, a second Nest Ball. We get 2 of these Nest Balls. I will use the Area 0 Underpaths. Now we can put 3 more Pokemon onto our bench. And we're going to use both Nest Balls. We'll go ahead and get some setup cards for us. We want to get our second Palkia down. And just so, you know, we have a Terra Pokemon in play and we don't have our Bidoof, we're going to set up a second Terapagos here. Now, what I'm going to do is I think that Kieran might not matter so much, but Irida definitely won't matter the way that we have our board set up. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the Irida to draw 2. And I want to see if we can swing something here. We're just going to shuffle it up. I'll conceal cards. Draw 2. And then I'm going to go ahead with my second Noctowl and go and find 2 trainer cards. We get a Glass Trumpet. And we can even get something like a Boss's Orders for next turn. So let's Glass Trumpet. We get to put this here onto our Terapagos. I'm going to go ahead and manually retreat the Greninja. And now if we're counting, let's see, 3 times 8, we're doing 240 damage, so that's pretty good. And let's just assume that we're taking a 2-prize knockout. Alright, we did draw our Bidoof. So again, we'll pretend that our opponent knocks out this Terapagos. It's 4-4 prize cards now. We put up our Palkia. Palkia does its thing. We're going to evolve both Palkia VSTARs here. We're going to put our Bidoof in play. Area 0 is still good. We're still good to go. We're going to VSTAR Portal here. We're going to put 2 in the active, 1 on the bench. Assuming that our opponent's got a whole bunch of benched Pokemon, or at least enough. Right now we're hitting, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 200 damage just on our side of the board. So anything else probably is going to be a knockout on our opponent's board state. So we'll assume we're taking 2 more prize cards, and we still have so much to play with. Assuming this turn our opponent gets rid of this. So now we have to get rid of things like our Fan Rotom. We have to get rid of our Noctowl. Now we have 5 Pokemon on the bench. We're taking a hit. They can't knock out at 280. So potentially we are in trouble. We aren't knocked out completely. We're going to draw our next card, return. We're going to put Area 0 back into play. Now we can put more Pokemon on our bench. We're going to go into the Fez. We can just Ultra Ball away the Kieran and our Nest Ball, and then we can get our other Bibarel. So we're thinning our hand, doing huge things here. We can go ahead and play this down. We can play a counter catcher to thin our hand some more. Just get one of their 2 prizers on the bench. Let's Bibarel for 3. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to go here. Let's draw with concealed cards. 1, 2. We can Pheasantipity for 3. 1, 2, 3. And you can see the synergy that we have with all of these cards. We can even Night Stretcher, and we can put, our other Hoothoot back down. So eventually we can draw into something else. We have the Noctowl in hand for the following turn, and we're just taking a 2-prize knockout again. Boom. There's everything that we need. So this deck is really, really cool. And I think that the synergy that all of these cards have together works really well with Palkia. It's really what is going to bring Palkia back. In closing here, those are my thoughts on this Palkia VSTAR list. Hopefully you like the list. It will be down in the comments below. We're going to try our best to get the new card set numbers in there for you, so you can just copy paste this right into your PTCG Live. Make sure that if you don't have enough of these cards, or you can't generate the coins or currency to get them on PTCGL, make sure that you're going to ptcglstore.com and using code TSS5 to save you 5% off your next order. And again, check out all of our other sponsors down below. If you like videos like this, make sure you're subscribing to the Shuffle Squad channel so you can catch more Stellar Crown action here with me, PJ. I'm going to be covering a lot of these decks in the channel too, and you'll be able to see lots of live footage from the rest of our pro players here on the channel. We'll catch you next time here on the Shuffle Squad. See you later.
You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.